How's that will play into? I remember you mentioned in your book also how they will change the times because Islam has their own calendar. They have their own kind of a way from our calendar. Will there be some kind of a mark of the beast that will be connected? Do they have something in mind that correlates? Because I know that when it comes to the mark of the beast and the 666, a lot of people have been using the, and I won't say this on a live stream so I don't get banned. They've been using that or any chip. How does that correlate with Islam?
Yeah. So let me just say this, biblically speaking, whoever takes the mark of the beast,
Mm-hmm.
Revelation 14, will be tormented day and night in the presence of the Lamb and his holy angels. In other words, they go to hell forever. Whoever takes the mark of the beast goes to hell. Now, throughout the New Testament, what determines if someone goes to hell? It's whether they accept or reject Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the idea that it's the jab, it's the idea that a lot of people are bandying about that, if you got vaccinated, you took the mark of the beast. Look, the mark of the beast is not something that you can be tricked into, that you can take accidentally. It's not something that people can grab you and pin you down and hold you and force you to take. Because you don't go to hell if you got tagged in the tag football game. Whoops, you're
Mm-hmm.
it. Oh, you're going to hell. No, the mark of the beast is not some loophole in the system of salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever takes the mark of the beast will also worship the beast. The mark of the beast will be tied to the worship of the beast. It will be tied to the rejection of Jesus as the Messiah. And so one of the things that is part of the Islamic practice and tradition is that when there is a caliph,
Mm-hmm.
again, it's expected that the Mahdi will be a caliph, then all Muslims are obligated to make something called the bay'ah. It's the Pledge of Allegiance. You literally will make a pledge of allegiance unto death
Wow.
of obedience to the caliph. And so, in all likelihood, this pledge will involve the Islamic creed, which says there's no God other than Allah, and Muhammad is the final messenger of Allah, which you could argue from a Christian perspective is a denial
Mm-hmm.
of the God of the Bible, a denial of the Father, and a denial of the Son. Hebrews says that in former times he spoke to us by the prophets, but in these latter days he has spoken to us through the Son. He is really the final messenger, if you will. Yes, there's the ongoing, activity of the gift of prophecy in the church, but that's different than biblical prophets. It's different than the Lord speaking to us through his Son.
Mm-hmm.
This type of thing. So really the very creed, the Shahada of
Interesting.
Islam, it aligns with the description of the belief system of the Antichrist. He
Mm-hmm.
denies the Father, he denies the Son. 1 John 2:22, it tells us this is the spirit of the Antichrist.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever denies the Father does not have the Son. So somewhere in there, we don't know exactly what the mark of the beast will be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as I said, it will involve worshiping the beast. It will involve denying Jesus as the Messiah. And when the
Mm-hmm.
time comes, I think we will recognize it and see it. But until then, people can have strong opinions about vaccines or any of these things, but it's not the mark of the beast.
That's good. That's
I
good.
took the vaccine because I had to in order to go to Saudi Arabia, because part of my calling, my God-given calling, is to go to Saudi Arabia. And so I prayerfully took the vaccine and I prayed over it. And if that means I'm going to hell forever, then I would say that we have some problems with numerous scriptures, throughout the New Testament, that says whosoever
Mm.
believes that Jesus is the Christ, has eternal life. So I don't think I made a mistake by accident and somehow I'm going to be tormented day and night in the presence of the Lamb, this type of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important. People can have strong opinions
Yeah.
about it. I prefer that I hadn't gotten the vaccine, but it's not the mark of the beast.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for clarifying that.